Hello everyone! In this video, ay didiscuss natin yung Module 4 para sa Week 3 ng Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person. So bago tayo magsimula, siguraduhin na meron kayong katabing papel at ballpen para masagutan ninyo yung activities as we go through with the lesson. Maaari niyong i-pause muna yung video and then sagutan niyo yung activity at pagkatapos ng sagutan, i-resume nyo ulit yung video. Okay, so kung kayo ay sasagot sa inyong answer sheet, siguraduhin na mayroon kayong pangalan, may section yung inyong answer sheets, merong subject, at merong activity name, kung ano yung ay pinapagawang activity. Para hindi maguluhan yung inyong advisor sa pag-segregate ng mga answer sheets ninyo sa inyong mga subject teachers. At para makasigurado tayo na makukuha ko ang answer sheet para sa Introduction to the Philosophy of the Human Person. Okay. So, I know you are very familiar with this passage. The truth will set you free. Ang katotohanan daw ay ang magpapalaya sa inyo. Alam ko, naririnig nyo na ito dati pa. Palagi nyo na siyang naririnig. And this simply tells us that our search for truth will lead us to freedom. Now, and philosophy is primarily concerned with getting the truth about things. So, studying philosophy will enable us to look for the truth about life, love, relationships, and everything. So if you are philosophizing, you are seeking for the truth. And that truth will set you free. Okay, this module primarily deals with the distinction between opinion, ang opinion at ang katotohanan. Ano ba yung kailan ba natin masasabi na ang isang pahayag ay opinion lamang o ito ay isang katotohanan? So you as a young adult will search for the truth in your day-to-day activities. Your struggle in the pursuit of truth lies in your study of philosophy. Can I really arrive to truth about things? So enjoy your journey in finding the truth and enjoy philosophizing. Are you excited to learn and be a truth seeker? Let's start. Okay, so the objectives for this module is, number 1, at the end of this module, you should be able to define what is opinion and what is truth. And number 2, distinguish opinion from truth. Okay, now that you know your targets for the day, have a glimpse of the new words that will flash in your screen, which may appear in this module o kaya maririnig nyo mamaya na dinidiscuss ko. So, number 1 is the word criterion. Are you familiar with this one? So, criterion is a standard on which a judgment or decision may be based. So, narinig nyo na ba yung criteria for judging? Sa mga pageant, sa mga contest, merong criteria. So, ang criterion ay singular na criteria. Pag sinabi natin criterion, standard, halimbawa, yung passing score na is 75, tapos ang score mo is 74. Anong ibig sabihin? Hindi ka pasado sa criteria na dapat ay 75 ang iyong grade. Okay? So, that is the first word. The second is coherence. So, coherence is a noun and it is the quality or state of pairing such as systematic or logical connection or consistency. Pag sinabi natin coherence, dapat merong consistency. Ang mga propositions, ang mga pahayag, dapat nagkakaisa sila. So, meron silang logical connection that is pointing out into one direction. Coherence. So number 3, the third word is pragmatic. Pragmatic is an adjective. It is relating to matters of or practical affairs, often to the exclusion of intellectual or artistic manners. So, practical as opposed to idealistic. Pag sinabi nating pragmatic, this is the reality. So, pag sinabi nating idealistic, ang idealistic kasi, pag sinabi nating ideal, halimbawa, meron kang, ito dapat yung mangyari. Halimbawa, sa module mo sinabi mo na, sasagot ako bukas. Sasagutan ko bukas yung 2 modules. Mag-i-start ako ng 8 hanggang 9, and then mag-break ako ng 9 to 9:30, and then 9:30 hanggang 11. Mag-continue ako para in the afternoon, another module naman tapos na. So that is that is the ideal setup for you to be able to finish your module and to be able to submit on time. Pero, kinaumagahan, ang nangyari, 9 a.m. na, tulog ka pa rin. Kasi nag-ML ka namin, nag-Facebook ka namin. Ayan. So, yun yung nangyari, yun yung reality. So, that is pragmatic. Next is bias. I know you are familiar with this one. This is an inclination of temperament or outlook, especially a personal and sometimes unreasoned judgment or a prejudice. Bias, ibig sabihin, mas pabor, merong mas pabor doon sa isang bagay kaysa dito sa isa. So, may inclination. Okay? So, ito yung mga words na pwede nating makasalubong mamaya as we go through with our lesson. Okay, so before we start with our activity, magkakaroon muna tayo ng pre-test. This is to know if you already know something about the topic or kung meron na kayo mga stock knowledge. So for our pre-test, meron tayong true or false. So lagay niyo dyan sa activity answer sheet ninyo, lagay niyo yung activity name, pre-test, true or false. Okay, number 1. Through knowing, we are able to determine the truth. Is that true or false? Tapos na ba? Okay, number 2. Opinions often contain clue words pointing to oneself. Example, I think, I believe, I feel, in my opinion. Okay, ang opinion daw ay may mga clue words. Ang pahayag daw, para masabi natin isang opinion, ay mayroong mga clue words. Katulad ng I think, I believe, I feel, in my opinion. Okay, number 3. Truth is a statement about the real world supported by evidence. Ang katotohanan daw is mga pahayag tungkol sa tunay na nangyayari sa ating mundo na sinusuportahan ng mga ebidensya. Okay, number 4. Truth is to be proven because they are based on someone's thoughts, their feelings. Ang katotohanan daw ay kailangang mapatunayan kasi ito ay nakabase lamang sa iniisip at sa nararamdaman ng isang tao. Okay, number 5. Observable truths are verified by observation. Example, the Philippines is an archipelago with 3 major islands, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So sabi, ang observable truths daw ay bini-verify sa pamamagitan ng pag-observe or observation. Okay, tapos na ba? So, igilid muna natin yung ating answer sheet para sa pre-test true or false at mamaya malalaman natin kung ano ang sagot sa exercise na ito, sa pre-test na ito. Okay, so dumako na tayo sa susunod, ang ating learning activity 1. So sa inyong answer sheet, lagyan niyo ng ang activity name ay learning activity 1. So for this activity, true or false ulit? kung true ang statement, ilagay nyo true. Kung hindi totoo, lagyan nyo ng false. Number 1. The novel coronavirus 19 is a pandemic that killed hundreds of thousands of people around the world. Ang COVID-19 daw ay isang pandemic na pumatay na ng libo-libong tao sa buong mundo. Ano ba siya? True or false? Sagot na ba? Ano ba yung sagot nyo? So that is true. Narinig nyo siya sa news, nababasa nyo siya sa mga trusted na mga sources. So that is true. Okay, number 2. In the year 2020, there is no medicine or available vaccine for COVID-19. So, sa 2020 daw, wala pa daw tayong bakuna para sa COVID-19. Kaya ay gamot. So, ano sa tingin nyo? True or false? That is true. Hanggang ngayon, may mga dinedevelop pa lamang na mga gamot, pero hindi pa sila tapos. Hindi pa sila completed yung kanilang clinical trials. Okay, number 3. Earth is a perfect circular planet. O ang Earth daw ay perfect yung kanyang pagiging bilog na planeta. So, is that true or false? Kaya, sagot na. So, sabi, ito daw ay false. Okay, number 4. Every human person has the right to life, liberty, and happiness. Bawat tao daw ay may karapatan para mabuhay. May kalayaan, at ng masaya. Is that true or false? So, kung ang sagot mo ay true, ikaw ay tama. Okay, para sa ating number 5, last number for your learning activity 1, for true or false, there are news and rumors that banana can cure COVID-19. So, that is false. Okay? So, chinek mo ba? Ilan ba ang nakuha mo? Ilang tamang sagot ba ang nakuha mo? Okay na, proceed na tayo sa next nating activity. Dito naman tayo sa ating next task. Kanina yung true or false ay task 1. Dito naman tayo sa task 2. Tingnan niyo yung picture na naka-flash. Hindi itong orange. Design ko lang yan. Ito lang. Itong Indian mango ba to? And then, yan. So, okay, pagmasdan. Okay. So, there are 2 statements based on my observation. So, you will write in your notebook which one is true. The first one and the second one. And then, you will tell me why. So, ito yung first statement. Ito yung second statement. So, isulat nyo dyan sa inyong answer sheet. Learning Activity 1, Task 2. Learning Activity 1, Task TASK 2. Okay? So, lagyan ninyo ng alin ba dito yung true? Number 1 or number 2? So, number 1, Indian mango is best eaten with spicy bagoong. Chili is one trademark for Bicolanos. So, kung yung first statement for you is true, isulat nyo dyan, 1. The first statement is true. Or sa mga SMAO, pwede kayong sumagot ng Tagalog. Ang unang pahayag ay katotohanan. So, kung yan ay katotohanan para sa inyo, bakit? So, bakit kaya siya naging truth? Okay, number 2 statement is, it seems not so spicy because it only has few chilies. So, pili kayo dyan ng isa. Isasagot nyo sa inyong answer sheet is the first statement or the second statement is true because. So, ganyan yung pagsagot. Okay, so i-pause nyo muna yung video and then sagutan nyo muna yung tanong. Alin ba sa dalawang mga pahayag na yan ang katotohanan at fact. Okay? Tapos na? Okay. Pagkatapos ninyong pumili, kung alin yan sa dalawa yung katotohanan, sagutin ninyo itong mga tanong, itong dalawang tanong. Na? Okay, so, sa baba, ilagay nyo itong number 1. Sagutin nyo yung number 1. Have you easily identified which of the statements are true? Why? So, na-identify nyo ba kaagad kung alin dun sa dalawang statement kanina ang totoo? Kung na-identify nyo agad siya, bakit? Bakit mas madali niyong na-identify kung alin yung katotohanan dun sa dalawang statements? Okay, so number 1. Sasagutan niyo na sa inyong answer sheet. Okay, next, number 2. Which of the statements do you believe is true with others but not true for you? Why? So, alin daw dun sa dalawang statements ang maaaring totoo sa'yo, pero sa iba ay hindi. Bakit? So that is number 2, question number 2. Okay, number 3. How do you feel if you found out that there are statements that are true with others but not true for you? Explain your answers. Ano daw yung mararamdaman mo kapag may nalaman ka na may mga pahayag na maaaring totoo sa iba, pero hindi totoo sa iyo? So, ipaliwanag mo ngayon ang iyong sagot. Ayan, so maaari niyong i-pause ang video at sagutan niyo yung process questions. Okay na ba? Okay. Next na tayo. Learning Activity 2. So, sa Learning Activity 2, you will analyze this picture. Ito, hindi itong orange. Orangey, huwag yung orangey. Itong picture, you analyze this picture and then write 2 paragraphs with 5 sentences each. 1 paragraph na nagsasabi ng katotohanan, and then 1 paragraph na nagpapahayag ng opinion. So, ito yung halimbawa. Ito yung katotohanan sa video ito. There is a rainbow overarching the sky. So, merong rainbow. Ayun. Sky. So, that is the truth. Kasi nakikita natin, meron naman talagang rainbow. Ito naman yung opinion. Halimbawa ng opinion. I believe at the end of the rainbow is a pot of gold. Paano natin nasabing opinion niya yan? Kasi, yan yung pinaniniwalaan niya. Na sa dulo nito, na merong pot of gold. So, hindi tayo sigurado kung meron o wala. Yan lang yung pinaniniwalaan nung nagsasalita. Okay? So, ang task ninyo for Learning Activity 2 is gumawa ng 2 paragraph, isa para sa truth at isa para sa opinion, and then maglagay ng 5 sentence. So, para sa mga TVL, papayagan ko kayong gumawa ng paragraph in Tagalog. So, 5 sentences, 5 pangungusap sa bawat paragraph. So, sa use, dapat English ang inyong sagot. Okay, so maaari niyong i-pause ang video. Okay, tapos na? So, you have learned that the goal of philosophy is to seek for the truth. The truth is arrived through questioning. May pinaka-goal ng philosophy is maghanap ng katotohanan. At ang katotohanan, para matagpuan, ay sa pamamagitan ng pagtatanong. Questioning. So, through knowing, someone will conclude that a statement, information, and views are true. Kung dahil alam natin, meron tayong alam, maaari nating sabihin na ang sinabi ng isang tao ay ang isang statement o ang isang impormasyon o ang isang balita na nakarating sa atin, maaari nating sabihin truth or hindi. Totoo ba siya o hindi? Dahil meron tayong alam. Okay? Sa pamamagitan ng pagtatanong. Right? Na sa panonood ng video at sa pagsagot, mag-stretching muna kayo. Maaari kayong tumayo, mag-stretching, mahumiga, ipikit ang inyong mga mata. Ayan. So, and then, mag-exercise ng konti para mawala yung pagod. And, balikan niyo yung video na ito. Okay, so ready na ba? Ready na ba ulit? So, dito na tayo sa 5 criteria of truth. Ano ulit yung criteria kanina? Pag sinabi natin criteria, yun yung standard. Dapat makikita mo siya para masabi mo na paano makapagbigay ka ng judgment. Ano? Criteria of truth. Sabi, para daw masabi na ang isang impormasyon, ang isang pahayag, o ang isang balita ay totoo, dapat pasok siya dito sa 5 criteria, sa 5 criteria ng katotohanan. Okay. So, ang una ay coherence. The first criterion of truth is coherence. And a proposition or a statement is true if it coheres with other propositions. Coherence means at least consistency. Consistency connotes non-contradictions with another thing. Okay? Dapat daw, para masabi na ang isang statement o ang isang proposition ay totoo, dapat meron silang coherence or consistency. Hindi sila nag-contradict. So, hindi papunta sa kaliwa, hindi papunta sa kanan. So, dapat parehas yung kanilang direksyon. So, ito yung halimbawa, for example. Natin. The World Health Organization declares that the COVID-19 is a pandemic. Okay? All countries of the world, they agree na this phenomenon is a pandemic. Na ang COVID-19 is a pandemic. So no one contradicts or disagrees with the pronouncements of the international agency. Therefore, dahil walang nagko-contradict, lahat ng bansa ay nag-agree, that statement is true and a fact. So, totoo siya. So, yan yung unang criteria para masabi na ang isang statement ay true. Okay, next. Ang next is evidence. Evidence. Evidence as a further criterion of truth, propositions, statements about empirical data can also be regarded as true because empirical data are evident. This data is proven through experimentation and observation. Yung mga data na nag-gather mo from your experimentation and observation are called empirical data. And they can be regarded as truth. Pwede silang sabihin ng katotohanan. Halimbawa, ito yung halimbawa para mas maintindihan. The Bicol region is the southern region of Luzon. It is composed of 6 provinces, namely Albay, Camarines, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Masbate, and Sorsogon. Ang Bicol region dati ay nasa south na parte ng Luzon. So, meron daw na 6 provinces ang Bicol Region. Ang Albay, Catanduanes, Camarines Norte, Camarines Sur, Masbate at Sorsogon. So, yan ay katotohanan. Bakit? As per the map of the Philippines, kung makikita natin ang mapa ng Pilipinas, it is evident that it is divided into regions. Alam naman natin na nadi-divide dahil sa mapa ng Pilipinas ang Pilipinas into regions. And Bicol, alam natin ang Bicol is in Region 5. At ito, kung titingnan natin ang mapa, ay located sa southern part ng Luzon at merong mga provinces. Kaya, ang statement na yan is true and fact. So, meron siyang ebidensya. Okay? So, that is the second criterion. Ang una nating criterion kanina is coherence. Next is evidence. So, meron na tayong dalawa. Ito na lang. Ang next natin is agreement of a group of people. Ano ba yan? The agreement of a group of people is the theme of the consensus theory of truth. According to this theory, a proposition is true if it can secure the agreement of all participants. So, kung merong group of people na nag-a-agree on that certain statement, that statement becomes true. Okay, halimbawa, for example, ito, Social Amelioration Program or yung SAP, alam niyo to, is a cash emergency subsidy program for 18 million Filipino families whose lives are greatly affected by the ECQ. So, alam natin na that program is mandated by the new law. Alam natin yung bayanihan to heal as one act. Yung ibang lugar nakakuha ng 5,000, 7,000, di ba? So, dito sa Sorsogon, ilan ang nakuha? Di ba? Naka 5,000 plus ata or 5,000. So, yung bayanihan to heal as one act is a law, and this law is agreed upon by all the members of the cabinet. Pinagdesisyonan sila? Pinagdesisyonan ng cabinet. The lawmakers and the interagency task force duly signed by the President and made known to all the constituents of the Philippines. Therefore, statement is true and the fact. So, totoo, Social Amelioration Program because that is part of the Bayanihan to Heal as One Act, which is pinag-agrihan ng mga congressmen and senators and then signed pa by the presidents at dinisseminate sa mga atin, sa tao sa mga nakatira sa Pilipinas. Okay, so that is the third criterion. Ano nga ulit yung mag-review natin yung dalawa? Okay, coherence. Ano yung susunod? Evidence. Ang pangatlo ay agreement of a group of people. Dito na tayo sa pang-apat. Okay, nandito na yung ating word for the day, yung pragmatic. Kanina sa vocabulary, pragmatic theory of truth. Ano ba yan? A further potential criterion is the pragmatic theory of truth. The criterion of the pragmatic concept of truth, then, is utility. This theory believes that a thing is true if it is useful. Ang isang bagay daw sa theory ito, kapag ay napapakinabangan, ay totoo. So, tingnan natin yung example niya. Halimbawa, sipag at tiyaga ang susi sa tagumpay. This kasabihan, this dictum is very familiar to all Filipinos, especially those who started from scratches, nagsimula sa walang-wala, but earned much for a living. And we find it useful, no, in achieving a status in life. So, this statement becomes a true, a fact, and it is true. Okay, so that is the fourth. the fourth criterion. So, yung criteria na na-discuss na natin are, ano mo una? Okay, coherence. Ang pangalawa, evidence. Ang pangatlo, agreement of a group of people. Ang apat, pragmatic theory of truth. Dito na tayo sa last. Okay, panglima. Okay, so ang ating fifth criterion and the last one is consensus. So pag sinabi natin consensus, ito yung napagkasunduan ng karamihan. So halimbawa, usually, meron siyang mga sa researches. So for example, herbal medicine is the use of medicinal plants for prevention and treatment of disease. Yung mga gamot na mga herbal, ang ibig daw sabihin ay paggamit ng medicinal plants para sa pag-prevent at pag-treat ng mga sakit. According to research, herbal medicine is an alternative way in prevention and treatment of diseases. So, for this reason, marami yung mga tao na talagang gumagamit ng mga herbal medicine para sa mapagaling ang kanilang mga disease. Kaya, ang statement sa taas na herbal medicine is the use of medicinal plants for prevention and treatment of disease is true and it is fact. So, meron na tayong 5. Discuss natin lahat ng criteria. So, ang unang criterion ay, ano ang unang criterion? Coherence. Pangalawa, evidence. Pangatlo, agreement of group of people. Pang-apat, pragmatic theory of truth. At ang panglima ay consensus. Ayan. So, according to research, ayan. So, how can we validate if a statement is true or it contains truth? So, it must satisfy the following questions. A. Ito yun, para masabi natin ang isang pahayag ay katotohanan, no? Dapat masagot natin ng oo ang mga tanong na ito. Una, is the statement coherent and does not contradict? So, ang mga salita ba, ang mga pahayag ba ay hindi nag-contradict? Iisa yung kanilang direksyon? Parehas ba yung tinatahak, tinutukoy? Pangalawa, is the statement verifiable with evidence? Kapag ba naghanap ka ng evidence, pwede ba siyang patunayan gamit ang mga ebidensya? Pangatlo, is the statement has consensus with a group? So, nag-agree ba ang isang grupo tungkol dun sa statement na yun? Meron ba? Is the statement useful? And is the statement agrees with researches? Ayan. So, ito yung 5 questions na dapat masatisfy ng isang pahayag para masabi natin na ito ay isang katotohanan. Okay, after identifying the 5 criteria of truth, let us have a glimpse on the idea of opinion. Pag-usapan naman natin. According to the book, The Thoughts on Religion, na sinulat ni Blaise Pascual, ang opinion daw can be viewed as the queen of the world. It is based on one's perspective. Nakabase sa point of view ng isang tao. Madalas, it is a collection of feelings, yung nararamdaman, yung passion, at biases. So, pag mga ganito, madalas sila ay mga opinion. Okay. Ano ba yung mga bias words? Tingnan natin yung mga bias. Examples of bias words. Okay. Pag nakita niyo yung mga word na ito, these words are clue words para ma-determine natin kung ang isang statement ay totoo o kaya opinion lang. Kapag nakita niyo itong mga words naman, nakita niyo yung think, ginamit niya sa pahayag. I think I'm in love. So that is an opinion. I guess. So that is an opinion. Probably, believe, hindi sigurado. So, fun, best, exciting, sad, desirable, favorite. So these are just few of the words that can indicate that a statement is an opinion. Okay? Perspective, understand. So pag nabasa niyo yan sa isang pahayag, so ibig sabihin yung pahayag na yan is opinion. Okay. So tingnan natin yung pagkakaiba ng truth and opinion. So yung truth, it is objective. Samantalang yung opinion is subjective. So pag sinabi natin objective, meron siyang definite na goal. Or sa exam, merong multiple choice, merong tayong essay. So yung multiple choice, objective siya, meron siyang isang sagot. Opinion naman, it is subjective. Depende sa pagtingin ng isang tao. Yung truth is evidence-based. Merong ebidensya. Pagdating naman sa opinion, circumstantial-based. Yung pinagtagpi-tagpi lang yung mga pangyayari. Tamang hinala sa opinion. So sa truth, it is based in reality, kung ano yung realidad. Samantalang sa opinion, nakabase siya sa emotion. So sa truth, it presents unbiased words. Okay, sa opinion, may mga biased words. Yung tulad nung kanina, ito, ito natin, mga biased words. I think, I probably, so those are the biased words. Okay, so now that we've discussed what is opinion, what is truth, what is the difference between the two, you are now ready with the application. So, meron kayong hindi naintindihan kanina sa ating discussion. Kung hindi nyo pa rin ma-define ang truth, ma-define ang opinion, ma-distinguish ang dalawa, maaari nyo balikan ang video, or kung hindi talaga makuha, maaari nyo akong tawagan sa aking number. Maaari kayong mag-comment sa video na ito, maaari nyo akong i-message. So, in any way, para makapagtanong kayo sa akin, okay lang. So, huwag mahihiyang magtanong. So, ready na tayo sa application? Pwede i-pause mo muna yung video and then exercise ka muna ng konti and balikan mo ako mamaya. So, ready ka na sa application? Let's practice. So, write the word or words that make or makes the statement an opinion or truth. So, meron akong i-flash ng mga statement and then hahanapin mo yung mga word or words na clue mo para masabi mo na ang number na yan ay opinion o kaya ang number na yan ay truth. Okay, number 1. The Department of Education implemented the blended learning in order to safeguard the welfare of the students. So, with that, lalagyan nyo ng kung sa tingin nyo that is truth, so ang isusulat niyo sa inyong activity, sa inyong answer sheet, the statement is truth because, ayan, bakit siya naging totoo? Or kung sa tingin nyo siya ay opinion, ang ilalagay nyo, the statement is opinion because. So para sa TVL students, maaari nyo ilagay na ang pahayag ay totoo dahil, ang pahayag ay opinion dahil. Okay? That is the first one. The next statement is, I think one of the struggles of the parents and blended learning is the cost of internet. Do you think that is true, or that is just an opinion? So if you think that is true, you may write the statement is truth because, or kung sa tingin nyo yan ay opinion lang, lagyan nyo the statement is opinion because. So para sa mga TPL, pwede nyo ilagay ang pahayag ay totoo dahil, ang pahayag ay opinion lang dahil. So number 3. So hanggang ano siya? Hanggang 12. Okay, number 3. Ibalong Festival is the most festive and extravagant cultural event among the big lands. Okay, the statement is truth because, or the statement is opinion because. I-pause nyo yung video and then sagutan. Okay? So next, number 4. Almost all of the industries are suffering from economic loss due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The statement is truth because, the statement is opinion because. Okay. Number 5. The earth rested from pollution for more than 2 months. This is one good thing that happened during this pandemic. The statement is truth because, or the statement is opinion because. Number 6. It is better to play Mobile Legends than playing basketball because you can learn how to strategize. Okay, number 6. It is better to play Mobile Legends than playing basketball because you can learn how to strategize in defeating one's enemy. The contagion probably is the worst disaster that ever happened in human history. So, mas better daw na maglaro ng Mobile Legends sa halip na maglaro ng basketball dahil matututo kang mag-strategize sa pagtag sa mga kalaban. Okay, next. Number 7. The volcano eruption caused damages to properties in Laguna and Batangas area. Ang Taal volcano daw ay nakapaglikha ng mga damages sa mga properties na nasa Laguna, hindi Laguna, and Batangas area. Ako si Ma'am Laguna. Pero yung statement dapat Laguna. Okay, the statement is truth because, the statement is opinion because. Okay, number 8. The ordinary workers clamor for help during the pandemic. Ano yung ibig sabihin? Yung mga ordinary workers daw ay humihingi ng mga tulong during the pandemic. Is that an opinion or is that a truth? Okay, number 9. I believe that some frontliners are more susceptible to the virus because they are more exposed than others who are fighting the contagion. Kaya, ang mga frontliners ay mas madali silang kapitan ng virus kasi na sila ay exposed kumpara dun sa iba na nakikipaglaban din sa kasalukuyang kinakaharap natin ngayon na pandemic. So the statement is truth because, the statement is opinion because. Okay, number 10. So, na. Number 10, dalawa na lang. Congratulations. So, the new normal requires social distancing and wearing of protective mask. So, ang new normal daw natin ngayon ay kailangan mo nang mag-wear ng mask at saka mag-social distancing. So, the statement is truth because, or the statement is an opinion because. Okay, number 11. Yay! 11 na. The Interagency Task Force is the leading agency in fighting COVID-19 in the Philippines. Yung IAFP daw, sila yung agency na nangangasiwa, nangunguna sa pangangasiwa ng COVID-19 sa Pilipinas. the statement is truth because the statement is opinion because. Okay, last na. Number 12. Yay! The internet in the Philippines, I guess, is the slowest in all the Asian countries. So, what do you think? Ang Pilipinas daw, sa tingin niya, sa tingin ko, ay ang pinakamabagal na internet, ay may pinakamabagal na internet sa buong Asian, sa lahat ng Asian countries. So, the statement is true because, the statement is false because. Ayan. Okay. Tapos na yung application. Pero meron pa tayong susunod na activity, ang learning activity 3. Okay, the learning activity 3, puzzle. Okay, so based on the previous activity, look for bias words in the word puzzle. Yan. Encircle the words whether vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. So in our case, hanapin nyo na lang siya. Ayan, so maaari nyo i-post dito sa part para mahanap nyo yung mga words. Balikan nyo na lang ako. Okay, so kinontinue mo na yung video episode, tapos mo na yung learning activity 3. Yay! Tapos ka na sa puzzle. Next activity natin. Learning activity 3 pa rin, pero matching type. So, read each item carefully. Match column A with column B. So, hahanapin nyo dito sa column A, sa column B, kung ano yung, hanapin nyo sa column B kung ano yung mini-mini column A. And then, imamatch nyo naman yung column B sa column C. Okay, so lagyan nyo na lang sa inyong answer sheet ng column A, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tapos lagyan nyo kung ano, halimbawa, the primary colors are red, yellow, and blue. If you combine red with blue, the result is violet. Okay, the statement is an example of blank criterion of truth. Halimbawa, kaya, evident. So, lagyan ninyo sa column A, number 1, B. Okay, so, sa baba niyan, sagutan nyo naman column C. Okay, sa column C, lagyan nyo ng I. Yung I, a proposition or a statement is true if it compares with other propositions. Ano dyan? Letter A. Ilagay nyo. I, A. As next naman. Dalawang I. Dalawang I. 4, 5. Okay, so i-post nyo muna para masagutan nyo ang matching type. Okay, paano siya sasagutan? I-match nyo yung column A, column B, at yung column B, i-match nyo sa column C. Okay, so, dahil nakadiretso na kayo dito sa part na to ng video, ibig sabihin, tapos nyo na yung learning activity 3. Okay, learning activity 4 na tayo. Okay, so learning activity number 4. Identify the bias words used in this article, in this statement, and write it in your answer sheet. So, lalagay ninyo learning activity 4. Okay, learning activity 4. So, basahin natin. In the article of Richard Hadarian, he said, the Philippines has been host to two of the world's longest-running insurgencies, Islamist and Communist, which have ravaged its southern island of Mindanao since the 1960s. Over time, many rebel groups have radicalized and turned to acts of terror. The month-long siege of Maari by Islamic staff affiliated fighters in 2017 was a stark reminder of how profound the country's counter-terrorism challenge is. This threat is the ostensible reason why in early June, on the urging of President Rodrigo Duterte, the first president from conflict-ridden Mindanao, the Philippines adopted a draconian counter-terrorism law. The government argued that tougher legislation was indispensable to avoid another major terrorist attack, including recent suicide bombings, and ensuring extremist groups and rebels do not exploit the COVID-19 crisis. Human rights and civil society groups, however, contend that the new counter-terrorism law is too broadly drawn and will instead usher in a reign of terror, allowing authorities to silence voices of opposition in the name of national security. These groups are not wrong to be concerned. The article, I think, implies that the government will be pursuing the terrorists in the Philippines, but opposition argued that this is suppression of one's freedom. I believe the author of the article is right that this will usher a reign of terror in silencing the voices of the opposition. Okay, so dahil nabasa na natin ang passage na ito, article na ito, maaari nyo nang piliin yung mga words at sa tingin ninyo ay bias words, and then hanapin niyo yung mga truth statements. Tapos nyo muna yung okay, so dahil kayo ay umabot na sa point na to ng video, kayo ay tapos sa learning activity. Okay, proceed na tayo sa next. Post-test. Ayan, malapit na matapos. So, sa post-test, balikan natin ang true or false. Read and analyze the following statements. Identify if the following statements are true or false. Write your answer in your paper. So, lagyan nyo ng post-test. Kanina, pre-test. Okay, number 1. Truth is to be proven because they are based on someone's thoughts, their feelings, and their understanding. Okay, if you answer true or false, you need to explain your answer. Number 2. Observable truths are verified by observation. Example, the Philippines is an archipelago with 3 major islands, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. So if you answer true or false, maliwanag kung bakit true ang number 2 or bakit false. Okay, number 3. Through knowing, we are able to determine the truth. So through knowing, we are able to identify. Your answer here is true, explain mo. Kung false, explain. Number 4. Truth is a statement about the real world supported by evidence. So if your answer is true, explain your answer. If your answer is false, explain it. Explain it. Number 5. Opinion often contain clue words pointing to oneself. Example, I think, I believe, I feel, in my opinion. So, explain your answer. Kung sa tingin nyo ang number 5 ay true or false, explain your answer. Okay, so tapos na natin yung lesson. Explain tayo. sana sinabayan niyo ako sa video lesson na ito at natapos niyo ang mga activities. So, meron pa, last na. So, assignment. Look for a short article in the newspaper or on the internet. Read and analyze it carefully. Identify and distinguish truth from opinion. Ito, follow nyo yung format na to. So, hanap kayo ng short article sa newspaper o kaya sa internet. Yung maiksi lang. And then, basahin nyo yung article, ilagay nyo dito yung title ng article at kung saan nyo kinuha. Kung sa newspaper, kung sa website, ilagay nyo yung website dito. Tapos, dito, sa column na to, ilagay nyo kung ano yung mga katotohanan na nakuha ninyo. Dito naman kung ano yung mga opinion na nabasa ninyo sa article. Okay, so, tapos na talaga tayo. Tapos na tayo. Okay, so, tapos na tayo. Kung mayroon kayong katanungan, maaari kayong mag-comment. Kung kayo ay nanonood sa YouTube, maaari kayong mag-chat kung kayo ay nanonood sa Messenger. Maaari kayong mag-text kung kayo ay nanonood sa pinasa lang sa inyo na video. Maaari rin kayong tumawag sa aking number. Okay, ang number ko ay nasa inyong envelope. Okay, so I hope na marami tayong natutunan sa video lesson na ito. So, pwede nyo siyang balik-balikan. Kung hindi nyo nakukuha or maaari nyo akong tawagan for clarifications, maaari kayong mag-text or mag-chat. Bye! Thank you.